Hey yo, well, this is your boy Odyssey in the house, y'all. Well, we'll keep you in peace for the brand new Odyssey show we're going to talk about for a special edition. But it's not going to be an episode or anything, but I believe it's going to be really cool. So, hope you guys like to enjoy the best show you want to enjoy. I know it's a bit besides Kyle Alexa, but we're going to talk about how this has affected going on for People's Republic of California, because there's some person. There's something that's touching on the beer by accident or spilled the beer around from Mountain View or San Jose or something like that. You know, like maybe it's like the workers so they can migrate from China or something like that. Maybe there was a virus that they haven't discovered, but they were discovered since like December. Before they were discovered December, I wonder people in California, they were the predages that were just started to have coronavirus because people can't understand how they're infected in the world now. I'm like, it's weird because maybe before the Hong Kong, they were started having like a protest going on since when the airports is closed. There was something like investigations about virus infections that, like whoever people they're touching you from your nose, their mouth, and your eyes. When you feel something, if you keep touching something, like if it's gross, you can't express that. People on the hell in the words you should never do. Because God is treating this. You know why? Because you don't want to touch something in your finger on that bottle. Do not touch, put it in the finger in your water and touch someone's other germs on it. Or even a soda, or even beer, any liquor. This is what happens when someone was touching this. It can get ugly. And think about that. You know? But this isn't the people that ironic that we're talking about how that president passed away or having a war with it. There's no such thing. But they could be. But you have to understand the people that we live in the world. We're in the world. You know, I've been paying attention to the news like all the time. You know, like most people just don't define the answers. How the hell they were talking about like U.S. and China trade war? It's no big deal, you know. Like, you know, people want to buy integrity. People want to buy like maybe like American food. People want to buy like cars, you know. Like it's weird because you don't have any people in price because people are trying to afford any price they want. It's weird, right? Because people are trying to be hungry. And Marcus Bruce was trying to look it up to that. And he didn't expect it how coronavirus was been discovered. And he didn't know about that. President Newsom didn't know about that either. He didn't see it. I did see it. I only see it on like Facebook since when I showed up. But it's weird because I have so many generations of people who know this stuff. What's touching on the corona. Maybe there is a responsible who is using this. Maybe if there's a stimulus response. There is no such thing. But if you have the people in here who touching their bodies or touching like personal space and stuff, if you guys touch the beer inside of it, be careful. Or you know what I mean? Because that's gonna get a lots of plague, a lots of death, lots of measles, but there's no such thing as measles or scratches that come from your foot or your arms or whatever. It's coronavirus. You know, they've been there for a while since like about a year. But measles has been there for like since 2008. I didn't expect that since after 9/11 that they've been hit before. And the recession too. It was pretty crazy. There's lots of hit people that have been going on. We've been talking about good old news back then. Well, we've been talking about like Yahoo News. But you can't expect great things on you, because make sure you just have to wash your hands by touching from someone's germs. Okay? You don't want to touch the mouth. You don't want to touch the nose. You don't want to touch the eyes. Because people in China do that. Or even people from Hong Kong do that too. This is what happens before the protest starts. If you touch something like that, if you're making it extreme gross, most people in Hong Kong could be angry. Because of the airports has to shut down. Because there's going to be like end-up discoveries of the coronavirus. That's what's happening. If people in People's Republic of California, whoever starts this idea, I have to know. Just send me a comment if you let me know who that is. It could be somewhere in Mountain View, somewhere in the South Bay, which is San Jose, or wherever the cities, or whatever the stadium of the 49ers. Because if you've been to the 49ers game, you could be like, end up really sick and having coronavirus. It's a plague. I'm too sleep to think about that stuff. Don't think too much extreme strategy if you're thinking about too much going to the 49ers game and watch all the playoffs and the fucking Super Bowl. I hate it. This is how the people, they're getting the plague. Well, this is serious, I know it's not a joke, but just calm the Remain down, The God was listening to you. Think about it. If you have the people in right for you, you have a connection to you. Because you don't need touch anything. Like if you wanna play something, You can play like sports, you can go to gym. Make sure just spray and wash it whatever you want on your gym item, like your gym machine or whatever. But just be careful. Do not touch something from your inside the bottle where there's a liquor or a drink or whatever. If it was a monster, don't do it. We'll be like monster virus, rockstar virus, what else? Modelo virus, pale EPA virus, or any kind of virus that can get worse. Be extra careful. It's a disease. I've been learning this all day. Just when there's a spread continues, more than often, you're going to be in big trouble if you're going to have to deal with that. Whoever this person has to be in the goddamn prison. If you've been living around here, came to the airport, came from China, came from Hong Kong, and came from California. If someone knows about this, we're going to have to report about that. Because this might be invalid. Because we don't want to see the death plague, and we don't want to see a lot of people are ending up getting 1.4 million. This is what happens. All the sports games and the teams from the league are just like suspended, And most of the malls and restaurants, they're just closed too. But they can still be open for delivery and takeout. So you're going to have to be careful from yourself if you're part of that country. Because this country has been breaking things up for the American people or the black people. And I understand that because we don't want to hear anything from the black, because most people who are related from people from UK, people from Iran or whatever, any country from you. If you could get affected, I don't know about that. I'm just going to have to pray for you guys, because There's something in the ways that we need to help you. And you know, I agree with what Trump was talking about. You have to make something very successful on you, because it's better for you. Just stay at home and stay in quarantine, or and stay living up in your dreams. You just don't want anything to have problems in your life or anything. But if you have friends in the past, if you just been making stuff fake news or stuff, don't worry. I know it's been been a few years. So don't worry about Trump. Don't worry about drama or politics. You know, we're here to save the people. We're here the people to save the lives and the quarantine. You know, because Donald Trump is trying to help you. You know, same thing with Barack Obama. If you think Obama's news are just fake, no. If you're people from Oakland, you deserve. You have no one you beat out. If you have no one else, what can it be after if you're not that person who is related to your ass? And that's on you. And if you don't think if you think the politics is real, don't think about it, because Oakland has been owned by the original black people from across the area. Because most countries, they've been suspended because they want Trump to be clear away all the rapist stuff or anything, and make America clean again. I think Trump was agree about that, because the travel ban has to clear away from the Nigerians and then the original black people come from East Africa and North Africa, also known as the Jigaboos. If you heard the song before, might be a little bit more significant to the most people in the world. We don't want these people to make this mess up, because people in Africa, they've been having quarantine in a while. So you have to understand that's applicable, because Obama didn't have a good job to that. You know what I mean? And I understand that a couple presidents didn't have their help. Obama and Trump. Who needs to have a big help? Joe Biden can help, or even better, Michael Bloomberg, or even better, George Bush, or even better, Ronald Reagan. Most presidents, they can be more helpful to you. But I think it's better for you just stay out of politics and stay away from the people where you need to be considered. Be considered in sports and focus on it, Think about the quarantine. It's good to know that I have to be clear that way. So I've been clear that way too, since when I went to a restaurant the other day, I got really sick, so like 2 days, or a few days, before I became negative from coronavirus. So it's good to know that I don't have that. So, and plus all those NBA basketball players are already recovered from coronavirus. So just make sure everything is clear by touching parts from that. Just try to let you know. Just stay quarantined and stay positive, and stay healthy, because if there's anything from the springtime, be careful, because that's going to be extra X-healed, like if people are using 5Gs and stuff or all that, most technologies are getting to take over. But if you're that Californian, you have that big blood to it, just make sure try not to touch that corona on the bottle or anything that stuffs that. If you do, wash your hands. But just don't use it with this hand. Use this hand if it's clean. If that's dirty, use the clean hand to open it and wash your hands. I used to have those tricks for washing hands all the time as a kid. I've done that before, so you have to make right decisions, in your lifetime, because I'm here to help you. That's what our quarantine is. Just stay clean and stay positive. That's your number one rule. And I've been talking about this. You know, there's a lot of people are been getting hurt from that disease. So you have to save people's lives and save people things. You know. And I understand the era is like vanilla and cheesy, but think about your perfect support life. You know, it's good to know what we have today, because in California, many people they haven't been like affected from coronavirus, and most of them their entire world. You know, right now like people are dying like 9,000 or anything like that, and all of the countries are been totaled up from the around like each continent's around from coronavirus. It's all six of them now. So right now you just have to stay at home and play some video games, look on the computer, do some Zoom things, and do some live and stuff. You know, that's how you can. Whoever people was touching on those stuff, just be careful, because you want to have to stay away about like 6 feet, all kind of stuff. Because I know it's like springtime, so I'm sure like springtime will be over until coronavirus will be done. So I hope you guys will be happy about that, because I think at the end of the day, I think the 2020s will be still going to continue pioneering for every single year, while coronavirus is still going to be going on. So I don't think it's about the beer. Maybe it's something that's coming from the extra pollen coming around like in the South Bay. So I think they still have to investigate about the coronavirus that hasn't been discovered before. People that came from China or whatever. So just try to be extreme positive about that, because we need to make sure there's anything that's as soon as possible, or anything gets hurt, you know. Or just don't touch anything from your boogers and stuff. It's extremely bad. So don't take too much seriously on that stuff. But remember, drugs are bad. But I understand that these people there have a big hope. So make sure every people just keep it every clean you can. Okay, so as long as I have to make you guys clean. So that's the number one priority that we need to know, and that's it. So I hope you guys liked and enjoyed this the special edition for this episode. So just keep warning about those pandemics and everything. So all the events should be back to maybe in June or to August or whatever. I don't know yet. Well, I hope you guys would like to let you know to stay continue maybe next year or later. So I'll let you know about anything but the remix and stuff. So this is your boy Odyssey. Keep it Odyssey, keep it real. Thanks.